Hi everyone, how are you doing? I want to. Some of my friends have messaged me about my friend whose name is Oliver Fabian, and I want to introduce him today to you because I always wanted to do this since I met him in Germany in his house. So I want to make a small introduction of him, and I would love for you to connect with him and talk with him and have a conversation with him. So I met this amazing guy. His name is Oliver Fabian through another friend of mine, whose name is Arnon Katz, who's from Israel. And um, Oliver told me his story that he was hitchhiking in Switzerland, and he that's where he met Arnon, and Arnon gave him a lift, and then they separated, and then they got together again in um, in a pub, and they chatted a long time, and they enjoyed each other. So somehow on Facebook, I got introduced to Oliver, and so Oliver tags me all the time on stuff which is non-related. It is related to religion, and he turns out to be a very strong atheist person. I only know like two or three atheist persons who believe that atheism is the key, and they he really doesn't like any religion, and there's a long history of why he is the way he is. So I don't want to get into that, but I want to tell you my experience. So he invited me to his home in Germany, and I paid a visit. He has two amazing dogs. I love those dogs. It's just amazing, and Oliver loves them. Oliver told me his story about his other dog who died in front of his eyes, and I felt really sorry for the dog and for Oliver that he missed such a nice animal in his life. We took a stroll around his home. There's a nice park he has built for himself, and his dog are just lovely. It's just big, but so I'm not used to dogs. I was raised being scared of dogs. I was never used to being around dogs. So, and in our religion, dogs are something which are not clean. So, but his dog were very clean and very nice, but just a little big. So I was a little scared because, as I said, I'm not used to it. But the reason I'm mentioning the dogs is because Oliver believes that his dogs have special sense and they really liked me, and because they liked me, so it was like an assurance for Oliver that I must be a good guy because I don't speak the language, they sense, and his dogs smell like clean and like human beings, like he says so. Um, I had a wonderful time in his home. He only eats once a day, and his girlfriend also eats only once a day. And she was very nice to me and cooked me a very nice breakfast, an omelet, which I love, and it was just amazing to stay with him, and it's just a beautiful place to be at. Now, a lot of my Muslim friends don't like him and tell me to unfriend him because he says stuff against religion. Now, I am against. I have met Oliver personally, and I have asked him to not to mock people, but or say something bad. But how is it any different than a Muslim person mocking a Hindu or a Christian or a Jew um, or an atheist? So it's the same thing he is doing. So I tell everyone who is mocking anybody's religion, which is not allowed in Islam, to mock anybody or mock anybody's religion or say bad things about them, not to do it. So I asked Oliver to do the same, that you can have your beliefs, but you don't have to go out and say it on their faces that I hate their religion, because once you use the word hate, they will hate you back. So, but he has his reasons. He has studied religion a lot, He has traveled the world, and he is really a humanist, I would say. Yes, he is strong with his words. Yes, he is strong in his belief. But I really think I love this man a lot as a brother. He's a very wonderful man, and the way he treated me, he treated me like gold. And I'm really appreciative of him and his girlfriend to be able to host me, take care of me, and giving me his time and knowledge um, for 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 the time he did. So I also mentioned him in my video yesterday that, but it was not in a bad way. It was in a good way in my point of view, because um, he gives me and other people in my Facebook a different perspective of life. We grow up in Pakistan, knowing nothing about anybody else. We are living in our own cocoons. We are living in our own boxes. We are not taught about other religions in our schools. We're not allowed to talk about other religions in our social media, in our lives. We sort of secretly talk among friends, but we really don't make it a public conversation. We sort of have made it a taboo to learn about other religions, which I don't understand why. I don't understand why God needs to be protected. God is the ultimate power, right? He created us, and somebody who created us, how can we protect him? How can we defend him? We are nobodies to defend him. We are nobody to protect him. Here I remember a tale I have read when I was young, that the grandfather of Prophet Muhammad, which is in Quran also, I believe, that um, there was an army of elephants which was coming to crush Mecca at one point, and instead of protecting Mecca, the Prophet's grandfather actually left Mecca and God took care of his own house himself. There were little birds which came with stones, and they destroyed the elephants, as the tale goes in Quran, as the story goes in the Quran. So who are we to protect God? Who are we to protect the ultimate being? Who are we to fight wars on the name of God? Which God? It's the same God. Everybody's after the same God. And if it's the same God, then why are we fighting for him? Why are we killing each other for his sake? Because he can protect himself. I personally don't think that this is something. I think we are taught incorrectly that if somebody says a bad thing to you, you must go and fight them. I think it is wrong for us to go and fight with people who are just speaking about our parents, our grandparents. They're just speaking. They're just speaking based on what they know. They're just speaking based on what they think is right. And to me, it's an opening for us, an opportunity for us to go and have a conversation with them and ask them, why do you believe the way you believe, and ask them questions. And the moment we start asking questions, there's a small place where we can educate them, and that education will allow them to not think in the same way. So, I invite all of you to add my friend Oliver. As I said, he's an atheist. He does not like any religion. If you are a preacher of religion, I would strongly request you to add him. Show that your religion is based on peace. You don't have to get offended by his posts, just like he's not getting offended by your posts. And you can just have a conversation with him. You don't have to fight with him to prove yourself, to prove that you have a bigger ego than him, or he doesn't have to fight with you to prove that he is right or wrong. He's just a science man. You can use science to prove him and to him that he is wrong, and he is going to try to do the same. So it's a healthy debate, it's a healthy conversation to learn It's an opportunity for us to educate him and be educated via him and others like him. So that was my small little introduction to Oliver. Oliver, I thank you very much for again hosting me, and I thank you very much for being who you are. I think you're one of the smartest people I know. I think you're a very humble person. I think um, you and your girlfriend are very, very kind people, and I really, really am honored to have met you. And I'm looking forward to meeting you again, especially in Pakistan again, so you can do your business and you can help us to grow the country if you can. And I have deepest respect for you and your family and your animals and your dogs. They are very, very nice. It's just, I'm, uh, if I have in any way disrespected you, or if any of my action has showed otherwise, I really want to apologize for that. I hope you're doing wonderful, my brother. Thank you so much. God bless you.